5 arrives. Snow White from Disney. Welcome to Mirror Domains. And this is my review of Snow White. No, it's not. Snow White arrives. Is it that bad? Guys, on today's show, we are going to be reviewing Snow White. And we'll also be catching up with a review of The Electric State that came out last Friday. But it is going to be the topic of the day for movie news, Snow White arriving. And I'm going to do my formal review, go into some numbers and projections, and talk about people's reactions to it. It's probably not going to be pleasant. Because this movie is carrying a lot of baggage around with it. And we'll try to do our best as movie fans and cinephiles to perhaps look at this with a collected, measured response. That's what I would say. Okay, so let me just make sure that I got all my videos and stuff set up, which looks like I do not. There we go. All right. That looks good. That looks good. We are going to be filming this live, so if you have any comments there in the live chat, I will turn on live afterwards, the YouTube chat. And because this is just ad hoc, I didn't think that I would be doing it live. I usually haven't been doing these live, but I figure I want to have my review on this channel as well, on the review channel as well. So that's the way that we can break this up. Okay, let's do it, James. Let's do it.
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
There you go. Snow White stars Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, and it tells the tale of, well, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You know how this story goes. It comes in at 1 hour and 49 minutes, and, well, it's got some pacing issues is my initial response, but we'll get into that as we break this movie down. A princess joins forces with 7 dwarves to liberate her kingdom from the cruel stepmother, the evil queen. A live act. Yeah, well, you know this is a live action adaptation. You know that. From Mark Webb, starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. Andrew Burnap. Oh, okay. Is he the token stud in this movie? You know, the prince? I don't know. Guys, this is a kid's movie. If you don't know that, you need to know that going into this movie. It's told in a very fairy tale style. It's got that kind of pacing to it. But because it's 1 hour and 49 minutes, they drag out a few things where it's like, okay, just get on with it. And then by the time it comes around to the full circle of, okay, we know that she's going to get the apple, but we're like 1 hour and 40 minutes into it. Well, come on, get to it. It's like, okay. And I do think that runtime is going to come back to hurt it. That is my main criticism of this film. It's got okay acting. Yes, Gal Gadot's fine. She can sing. I was happy to see that. And she is menacing. All of those complaints that you may have heard before this film about, well, she's so beautiful, and why would she be angry at Snow White, who's not as beautiful? Well, that's the whole point of the movie. That's the whole point of Snow White, right? Of that story. So yes, Gal Gadot is pretty, but she's also jealous of everything else that could possibly rival her, and there's no end to it. I wish the story had a little bit more of an adult theme to it, where we could have explored some of that jealousy and stuff like that. But this is a fairy tale. This is meant for kids. It's got fluffy little wooden animals from the woods in here. That it is a fairly faithful adaptation of the Disney story, not the original story where the huntsman cuts out the heart of like the pig or whatever. It's not like that or anything like that. It's very, very PG. I think kids will like this. I think if you didn't hear any of the controversies with Rachel Zegler before this, you're going to find this is a passable movie. It's not a terrible movie. However, it's not one that I'll be rushing back to go see. Out of all the adaptations of the live action ones so far, I still think Little Mermaid is my favorite because Melissa McCarthy and it's just, wow. But also Gal Gadot did a good job here as far as the evil queens go. So let's address the elephant in the room because I know this is going to be on the topic of everybody's thoughts. Yes, Rachel Zegler came out before the film started and said, no, this is going to be a new Snow White. It's going to triumph all these social justice values. And people got up in arms and said, well, that's not what Snow White's about and stuff like that. I have no problem with you voicing those opinions. I really don't. But if you build your audience around that, then they're going to expect you to come out and say that this movie was terrible afterwards. I can't tell you that it's terrible. It's not memorable. But you see the reaction now is kind of like, well, a total fail. And you go to watch their page and they've got a handful, at least 5 or 6 videos of them. Rachel Zegler said this. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, look at these dwarves. It's bad. Well, James, you also made a video about how bad the CG dwarves looked, and I'll own that, and I will attest, and I'll tell you straight up right now, the dwarves in this look a little bit creepy at times, especially the dumb Droopy or whatever, very Mad Magazine looking, it takes a little while to get used to, but by the end of the movie, you'd be like, okay, I accept them as they are. It is what it is. There's no getting rid of remember those images that we saw of like these, what we thought were the 7 dwarfs? No, those were the bandits. They were not the 7 dwarves. Like we thought that they were going to change some of the genders of the dwarves and stuff. Like, no, that's not in this movie. There's nothing like that. There's no message out there saying that you got to have inclusion and all this stuff. It's not in this, guys. It's not in this. I know some people would like it to have been so that they can get up on their little pulpits and start yelling and screaming and pulling their hair out. And to that, I don't like that because it's a self-defeating exercise. So I think a few people will be a little deflated with that, but let's get into the score sheet here and try to put in some numbers, and then we'll take a look at what other people are saying at the tomato meter. So if you don't know how this works, acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. So acting, serviceable, straight across the board. Rachel Zegler's good, but it's got like that cartoony kind of acting to it. You don't really, there's a few scenes that perhaps she gets to push a little bit with emotion. Like you buy her as Snow White. I did. They explained why she looks the way she looks, and like they had to address that. They do give you that in the story. Directing from Mark Webb. The technical aspects, it's well framed, it's well shot. But the CG mix, I just don't know why you couldn't hire normal dwarves. Maybe it's because it would have taken it out of the fantastical feel. The story is pretty straightforward. They do make some changes towards the end where they try to, well, remember how it ends in the Disney version, the cartoon version. This one, they do change it up, so they try to update that, how it all happens. I mean, it still happens. Like, the queen still gets her comeuppance. It's just like, how does it happen, right? They try to update that message. And I wasn't, I was looking for any little thing that could be used by those people, the hate people out there. The rage machine, if you will. And I'm sure they're probably still going to try to find little grains of here and there to be like, but if you were like that before, then why did you go watch the movie? I know it's content. I know you drive content, but let's not go down that rabbit hole, guys. It's not worth it. It's not worth letting hate consume you like that. Cinematography, though. Cinematography, there's a lot of CG. There is. But when we're framing Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, like you saw in the trailers there, it looked crisp. It looked sharp. It looked good up on the big AVX screen. I wouldn't say you need to see this in IMAX, but it looked good. And for that, I'll say 1. And as far as the score, guys, I found myself whistling, humming hi-ho after this. So we're sitting at 5 out of 10 as of now. I would say let's go over to the tomato meter and try to get a reading here as to what people are saying as of Friday morning here. And 46% with 156 reviews. See, well, that's where we're sitting right now. And I haven't put in my final scores yet. But I think the audience scores will be higher for this one. There is going to be a large push from some pundits out there that will be like poo-pooing over absolutely every little critique. They'll say, well, the dwarves don't look good, so the entire movie stinks. So it's like, well, okay, if that's what you want to say. But as I said, I'm trying to look for a measured response here to all of this. I'm acknowledging all of this stuff. But I'm also going to tell you that it does have the components of a movie that is cohesive, right? Kyle Smith, gloss prevails over heart in nearly every scene and plot beats feel contrived. Well, it's meant for kids. It's a fairy tale, guys. I don't know why you were expecting Shakespeare here from Snow White. Okay. It's too cheesy, too over the top, too visually flat, while brimming over with hyperactive theater kid energy that's better suited for a Disney princess cruise ship show. Well, that just goes back to what I was saying, that this is a kids movie, guys. I don't understand what you were expecting. I was expecting kids all the way, like kids mentality, kids cartoony, but with live action actors. I don't know why you were thinking that maybe this was also going to be something that, you know, adults would be like, oh yeah, this is something that I could watch on repeat. But James, other films have done that. They've been able to do that. Well, that's not this film, guys. You got to look at it from this perspective. Like, look at each case with its own merits. And when you say that I wanted it to be something else than it was because of other films, then I think you're doing you're not looking at it with the right lens. But that's just my opinion. Let's go back to the tomato meter here and take a look at well, they do have some audience reviews. Okay, so 5 out of 5. The movie was amazing. My family loved it. And yes, this is going to be a family-friendly movie. Families will enjoy this. I think, okay, here it is. If you're an adult and you've seen Snow White before, and you're like, okay, well, I want to take my kids out to the movies this weekend, you're going to have a decent family experience. Will some of the adults be like rolling their eyes at points, just kind of like, come on, get on with it now. Please, come on, we know where this is going. Remember, the kids don't know where this is going, and part of the joy of the family experience is that you'll see your kids going, oh, I like this. Don't eat the apple, don't eat the apple. And it's like, okay, give that to them. Why not? What's wrong in that, right? That's the way I would look at it. Okay, so some audience member who didn't like it. The storyline is very different and don't care for all the singing. Well, unfortunately, the first Disney Snow White was chock full of singing, so I don't know what you're smoking or expecting. This is not the quality I'm used to from Disney. Well, Rachel Zegler is a good singer, and oddly, Gal Gadot is also a good singer. Beautiful movie, but the ending has changed. Yes, the ending has changed. But as I said, the evil queen still gets her comeuppance, so expect that. If you like musical movies, then this is for you. I didn't like it all too much. Singing every minute. Yeah, it's heavy and singing. Lots of singing. You have Rachel Zegler. She's known for singing. Why would you not want to showcase that? I would. Let's go back to the critics here and let's see if we can find somebody who did like it. Maybe someone of a little bit higher notoriety. Stop the quick glances here. All right. I guess we won't. Overall, Snow White is an enchanting musical with an empowering message to stand with your people. against a vain, evil tyrant. Well, that's what the original movie was about too, right? No, no, James. It was about, actually, what was the original movie? It was still pretty much the same thing, that she was being persecuted and the evil queen took over the kingdom. So it's still about the same thing. It's just told with a little more of an updated view on it. And I got no problem with that. Snow White becomes voluntarily the princess bride of the 21st century. Its structure, characters, sense of humor, justice, and romance all refer to the cult film by Rob Reiner. Now, the romance, I would say, was probably the weakest part in this, because he can't really... Well, I guess he could still have some romance in there, but I would say that's the weakest part. There's just no chemistry between her and the token stud that saves her. Well, she did, like, kisses her, right? You know, that happens in this movie, guys. It's Snow White. Let's see if I can find an image of him here in the trailer. It is what it is. It's one that I'm not going to gripe too much over. Let's wrap it up then, James. Let's wrap up this score sheet, and then we'll get into what box office projections are going to be, because I do want to address that. Watchability. As I said, if you want to take your kids to it, and if you're curious to see how this is different from the original, check it out. If you want to hate on it, if you want to waste $17 of your own money to go to this and say, I saw it and now I have the right to hate on it all the way I want. And it's like, okay, fine. Hey, you want to waste $17 of your own money? Have at it, Hoff. You're just helping the movie rake in revenue. If you want to be naive and ignorant and say you want to hate the movie anyway without even seeing it, well, then I don't have much to say to you. 6 out of 10. I would be stretching to try to make that 6.5. And I think that's... But I do like Gal Gadot. Yeah. You know what? But because of some of the actors are... it's so hard. 6.5. There it is. Because of Gal Gadot and the collective singing abilities of Rachel Zegler. I do like her. She's a good actress, guys. There's not a scene in here where you'll see her say something and you'll be like turning up your nose to it. There's nothing like that. And this is a very generous 6.5 out of 10 for Snow White. All right, let's go over to the box office projections, because I do want to address this for the Thursday night previews. It's got 3.5 million. Now, remember, most movies that do really well are usually around the 7 to 12 million on Thursday night previews. 3.5 is about mid. I mean, not every movie is going to be like 35 million on Thursday night, like Deadpool and Wolverine, right? And because this movie does have that baggage, it's going to have some trepidation. But this is a family-friendly movie. Kids are going to be like, okay, I want to see it because it's got big colors, and I like, Disney movies, and hopefully families will enjoy it. It's targeting 100 million with its debut. What's the budget? Around 209 million. I think it's going to have a little bit of a struggle getting there. I think it will. Gal Gadot is the evil queen and your hag. The hag scenes were interesting, though. I did like that. But her costume, it worked for me. Okay, so those are my thoughts for Snow White. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hey, if you want to hate on it, and you want to hate me for having a measured response, let's see if we can duke it out in the comment section below. But if you're just going to say, oh, you are giving this a fair chance, I'm going to give you a thumb down, and you're going to spew some nonsense, I'll just block you. This is just one of those movies that's going to have that big bandwagon coming around to every channel saying, yes, thumbs up if you hated it as much as I did. If you say that you sort of liked it, then it's thumbs down, and we're going to flame you. Bring it on, man! That's what I say. All right, you're watching Mirror Domains. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. All right. Yeah, it is what it is. Now we are going to be reviewing a late review for Electric State, which means I have to update my posters for the side here so that, oh, wait a minute. No, I don't have to update my posters. I should be able to just keep that as it is, right? All right, this is just going to be a really quick review that I want to put up because I'm really trying to review every movie that I put up. I did put my shorts review for it up on the channel, so we'll get that. But this review is going to go up on the review channel. It won't be here on the main channel, except for this part in the live stream. Okay. And that means you need to reset your Excel file, James. Yes, it does mean that. There we go. Is that the only trailer? I don't feel like that's the only trailer. Final trailer, yeah. Okay, so we'll use this part, I think. And we'll use this part. Turn off all the annotations. Ooh. Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt star in The Electric State, a Netflix movie that tells the tale of a young girl trying to find her long-lost brother. And it's based on a source material of a book that a lot of people like. It comes in at 2 hours and 5 minutes. The runtime is an issue for this movie because it does have some pacing issues. It's got some tone issues, but the cast is actually pretty good. Beyond Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown, it's got Stanley Tucci, Kiwi Kwan, Woody Harrelson appears in this as a voice, Mr. Peanut. Oy. But guys, Alan Tudyk is Cosmo. Oh yes. And Anthony Mackie is the voice of Herm. So as you can see, in this movie, straight up, the visual effects are there. They spent $350 million on this. Oh God! What? Holy smokes, Netflix! What are you doing? It does try to have some heart in here, though. These action sequences don't really stick with you, though. After the film is done, it's just, oh, that's a bunch of CG stuff. It's competently done CG stuff. The heart of this movie is the brother-sister story of her trying to find the brother that got taken away from her. And I did a full live reaction to this up on the main channel. And when I watched it, it felt a little bit like that movie Labyrinth. Remember how the sister in Labyrinth went into, well, the labyrinth to get her brother back? And it's sort of like that, but with robots. And Chris Pratt, who hams it up in this to the max, to the extreme. But if you're a fan of Pratt, then you should know what to expect. Let's go over to the score sheet and put up some numbers here. For The Electric State, acting and directing and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of 1 possible point. Acting, Stanley Tucci is the bad guy in this. You know that. You should know that. Acting is competent. I really like. I'm a big Millie Bobby Brown fan. I liked her movie Damsel. I like the Enola Holmes films. I, of course, loved her in The Stranger Things, and we're going to do season 5 reactions when it comes out. But it's serviceable. There's no scene in it that makes you go, ooh. Wow, you got to check it out because of this. Kiwi Kwan is just kind of thrown in there. Mark Webb, the Russo brothers directed this. even Joe Russo just came out and said this movie cost $350 million. I don't know how this model, this business model doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. This is mind-boggling. But the technical aspects are there. It's shot well. The visual effects are integrated in with the live action very well. It's just not memorable. The story is based on a really interesting concept, and it's got that labyrinth vibe to it. But by the end of it, that emotional center, it will work for some. And I was this close to saying that, okay, it's got that big anchor where you'll be like, you got to check it out because of how this thing unfolds. But it misses the mark. And a lot of that goes on the directors, because this movie tries to be serious, right? It tries to take itself seriously, but all the dialogue is very childish, cartoony. But then they're like dropping F-bombs, S this, crap that, and it's just, it feels jumbled up with not a cohesive identity. That's the best way that I can explain Electric State. And I think that's probably where I'm going to land for story. Cinematography and score. It does have some interesting needle drops if you are into that kind of stuff. I'm not going to, it's not a soundtrack or a score that I want to go and buy, so there you go. Cinematography, though, I will give the full point to, because of those big visuals. You saw the robot and all those robots. It's all well done. 4.5 is where we're sitting. Let's go over to the tomato meter, and I will try to wrap this up quickly, because it's got a 15% by critics, 72% by the audience. A lot of that audience score, I think, is fueled probably by Millie Bobby Brown fans, Chris Pratt fans. If you are curious about the book, maybe you will want to check out what this is all about, and some things you might give a pass to because of Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. The critics, 15%, were really harsh on this. It's not as terrible as a 15%. Trust me, guys, I've seen my share of bad movies. Look at my resume if you want to, and you'll be like, okay, it's not as bad as, say, Borderlands. Okay, so, well, that's not saying that much, James. The beats of the Russo brothers movies are so predetermined they don't bear lingering on, but the Electric State might be the first time they've opted out to skip over them altogether. This movie made me cry, and not in a good way. So it's long. It's 2 hours, and this is a movie that should have been an hour and 35 minutes. Egads, there are a couple of hours wasted, potential squandered. I understand actors have to work, but dang, have some standards. Did they phone it in? I've seen some of that being said. Did they phone it in? Millie Bobby Brown always delivers good lines. She does. There's nothing in her line deliveries that you'll be like, ugh. But it was that for me from Pratt, because just the way that he was always talking and yelling his lines, and it's like, we know Chris Pratt can act, so I don't blame the script, and I don't blame Pratt. I blame the directors. And that's why you're going to get a low score, 15%. Let's try to wrap that up. Wrapping up my score sheet here. Watchability factor. If you are curious about the source material and want to see how it got adapted, if you're a Millie Bobby Brown fan, Chris Pratt fan, 5.5 out of 10 is probably where I would land. And yep, that's about it for me. The Electric State is not one that I'm going to revisit. It's just a movie that came. It did its thing. I'm sorry that you spent $350 million on that, Netflix. I still think that you would have been better off taking that $350 million and making like 15 attempts at trying to make a Godzilla -1. 15 attempts, really. Because Godzilla -1 only had a $15 million budget, so no, you could have made more than 15 attempts, maybe 20 attempts. Instead, you got one case of the Electric State. Oi. All right. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. If you want to see other reviews here on the channel, by all means, we just reviewed the Snow White film as well. Oi. Yeah. Okay. Let me know what you thought, and we'll talk about it in the comments below. You're watching Mirror Domains. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for the show today. We will go over and just see if we can find something out there in the headlines. Good Burger. 52. Dad, who's this? Played Mondo, the owner of Good Burger. Passed on. Jan Schweiterman? Do I recognize him? Take a look. 52. That's young. No, I don't need fiber gummies. Get out of here. Well, JP. Okay. Rest in peace. David Lynch, the cast of Twin Peaks. Werner Herzog makes animation debut with The Twilight World. New posters for Sinners. I'm looking forward to Sinners. We knew that it was going to be about vampires, so I don't know why people were so upset with the second trailer. Oh, they revealed too much about Sinners. Well, guys, what did you think that was going to happen in the movie? Amy Pascal, and guess what? You know what? I bet they beat the vampires in the movie too. How about that? Oh, it was so predictable. Well, what do you think was going to happen? Amy Pascal, David Heyman may oversee James Bond series for Amazon. A series of James Bond. I don't know if I would want that. I just prefer movies. If they were going to do a series, I would want the series of a younger Bond, him coming up through training, and then the series would end with him going out on his first mission, right? Dr. No, right? That's the way I would want it. But you can't have 12 seasons of that, James, because eventually he'll grow. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Let's just see if something else jumps out. Freaky Friday trailer. Yeah. Apple losing $1 billion a year on streaming service. See, we just talked about the electric state. How is that sustainable, right? If you're losing $1 billion on your streaming service, I saw other pundits out there too saying that, well, it's a good thing. You know what? If Apple has so much other businesses and they lose $1 billion on this one arm of their business, it's still a good thing to have that out there. And it's like, oh, you guys, in what reality is losing $1 billion a good thing? That's the definition of you twisting yourself into pretzels to try to what? Yeah, it's okay that you like stuff on Apple TV, but there's you shouldn't come to the defense because of it. Artglass says, so James, have you have a favorite film of 2025 so far? Slim pickings, I feel. Yeah, I know. I stopped doing the monthly best and worst because I only saw like 4 films in January or something because that's all that came out. We were over halfway through January before a first movie came out. And I was like, okay, that's a good question. Let's delve into that. Let's take a look at what has come out this year, and I'll tell you what where I'm sitting. All right, where is my 2025 schedule? Oh yeah, Den of Thieves I didn't see. Wolfman, no. Presence has stuck around with me though. The first Soderbergh film this year. I didn't see Flight Risk for personal reasons. And I defend Apocalypto. I think it's his best film. Just the current state of, let's not go into that. Uh, didn't see Dogman. Didn't see Valiant 1. Love Hurts. Didn't see Hard Eyes was fun. Now it's nowhere near saying that's the best of the year or anything like that. Neither's Captain America. I mixed about The Gorge. The Cleaner, didn't see. The Monkey, you guys know I didn't really like. The Unbreakable Wally, I will never. That's torture. I'd never watch that. Last Breath, actually. Last Breath was good. Woody Harrelson. Yeah, I like The Last Breath right now. I think that's probably where I would sit. Mickey 17 wasn't for everybody. There's parts about it I liked the first half of it, and then it just kind of divulged into I don't know. Queen of the Ring. What the heck is that? Seven Veils. I that was limited release. It didn't really play around me. I wanted to see it. Actually, Black Bag is pretty good too. It's between Black Bag and Last Breath for me right now. Novocaine is fun too. Novocaine was fun, but you got to. Okay, Novocaine is a movie where it's like, okay, we know that this is B movie fare, but it's fun, right? It's one of those types of movies. And I don't know if I'm going to be going out to see Alto Nights this weekend. I want to see Ash. Sci-fi, because I'm a sci-fi guy. Locked. It's not playing around me. And I do want to see Princess Mononoke in IMAX. I do. So I'll be seeing that. But I want to see the English version. I don't like the dub version because I got the DVD of both versions. Where am I? Where am I, James? What are we looking for? We're looking for Cineplex. Let's go to Etobicoke and see if Ash or Locked is playing here. Because I'll be in Etobicoke tomorrow. And if I get a chance, if it's playing there, I will check it out. But it doesn't look like it is. Bummer. So it's not playing in the GTA. Huh. Yeah. Let's go back to some headlines here. Official poster for Love Hotel. Mickey 17. 6 ways Bong Joon-ho defined his not-so-distant sci-fi world. I thought I was gung-ho on Bong Joon-ho. I'm not. I like Parasite. I was under the misunderstanding that he also did Train to Busan, but he didn't. And when I was looking at it, his resume, I know people like The Host, but he's done a lot of movies. And the only real standout was Parasite. Yeah. I wouldn't, I'm not on the Bong Joon-ho, he's a master filmmaker like Guillermo del Toro. No, he's not. He's not, guys. That's just my opinion. And I know that one will be controversial. Wall-E is just incredible. Yeah, we know that. Official discussion for Novocaine. Half in the bag. That's a headline. Jason Bourne franchise shopped as rights leave Universal. Would you guys want to see more Jason Bourne? I felt like that last one it's lost its luster. They would have to reboot it now without Matt Damon. They tried to go in a different direction years ago, like a decade ago with Jeremy Renner. I like that movie. I like that movie, but it's just kind of like, it is what it is. It's I don't know. It's past its prime. They'd have to reboot it. Straight up. MTV Movie and TV Awards won't be held in 2025. Okay. Coco 2 set for release. Yes, I heard this. I liked Coco. Okay. 13-year production pipeline, which has created flow. Wings Hauser, prolific actor, has passed away at 77. Wings Hauser. Does that name sound familiar? Why are you so small, Joe Blow? Wow, look at that resume. Freddy's Nightmares, China Beach, Fall Guy, Magnum P.I., a lot of TV credits. Here's the trailer for Don't Let Go of the Dogs. Will anyone else be really sad to see the end of the Mission Impossible series with Tom Cruise? No, I won't. That's another series, just like the Bourne series with Matt Damon. It's time to put it down, Tom. The only way that I would say that it would be worthwhile to maybe get more is if Tom Cruise relinquished control of how those movies are made. Because those movies are made all around showcasing stunts, and then they try to weave in a story after. I would rather have the story first and then try to, okay, this is the big action sequence. That's the only way that I would want to see it. But I think that he's probably going to die in this one. He's going to sacrifice himself to make sure the rest of the team can survive, I think. The Shrouds trailer. Cronenberg. I like that trailer. I did. First teaser for Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another starring Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know why it's not showing here on Reddit. Reddit's so stupid. If you link like something from YouTube on Reddit, unless it's your own page, like if you put it in a subreddit, they block it. And I don't get that. I don't understand that. I guess it's to combat spam. Danielle Deadweiler warns us about The Woman in the Yard sneak peek. This one, I'm a little bit, I don't know if it's going to work. You know that first trailer where she's whispering at the end? I'm here for you. And it's like, it has a high potential of being played very cheesy. Like, we know it's just a woman underneath there, but it's got to become something more once we learn the menace of it. Because it's just, I saw the trailer for it on the big screen, and my impression of it was, this is silly. And that's not a good thing. Because, hey, if there's a woman sitting out there that you don't want out there, why don't you just get the police to come take her away? Oh, they can't see her. Okay, well, then why aren't you building a wall around her or putting a fence or something? It's just, yeah, you can't think about it too much. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. All right, I think that's pretty much where we are all at. Psychotherapy. Good trailer. Steve Buscemi. If you don't know what that's about, go check out that trailer. Basically, he's a serial killer that counsels a book writer, a novelist, right, to write his book. But then while they're working on that, his wife confuses him as a marriage therapist. Steve Buscemi, good trailer. Go check that out. All right. I think that's it for me today, guys. Arglass has plenty of Bourne books for source material recast. Then I'm in. Yeah. And don't have Paul Greengrass, please. The shaky cam. People said that it worked. I never thought it did. So there you go. That's the way I'm at. All right, thank you very much. My shorts review for Snow White will be up on the channel shortly once I'm done editing. And of course, these other reviews will be chopped up and put up on the review channel. Is there anything else happening this weekend? I don't know. I'll be in Etobicoke tomorrow, and then we'll see. No other movies have come out yet, right? All right. We'll see. All right. Enjoy your weekend, guys. I'll see you next time right here on Mirror Domains.